Attention, Bears Nation! Today we've got bombshells one after another, and you can't miss a second. First, how is it possible that we started the season with a promising 4-2 and now we're in one of the worst collapses in team history? Our general manager, without clear answers, firings all around, and a defense falling apart. This is unacceptable. Do you think a coaching change can save us, or do we need a complete overhaul from the ground up? Stay tuned to find out. And that's not all. We finally broke the curse against the Packers in their own house. But does this victory really mean anything in such a disastrous season? Caleb Williams showed flashes, but is it enough? Can we trust our interim coach, or do we need a proven leader? Don't be fooled, Bears family, there's a lot of work ahead. What do you think? Is it a sign of hope or just a flash in the dark? Bam! What a win at Lambeau Field! DJ Moore and Caleb Williams gave us a spectacular finish, but what does this victory really mean for the Bears? With the 10th draft pick secured, is this the time to build a solid offensive line and find the head coach who will lead us to glory? Is this victory a turning point or just a momentary spark? Leave your opinions in the comments and don't forget to subscribe and leave a like. Let's go, Bears! Bears family! Are you listening to me? Because today things are getting spicy, very spicy. Let me ask you something. How is it possible that we started this 2024 season with a promising 4-2 and now we're seeing one of the worst debacles in this team's history? Explain it to me, because I don't get it. But here it goes. I tell you this. What you and I are seeing with the Chicago Bears this year is absolutely unacceptable. Unacceptable. And no, I'm not biting my tongue. Let's go to the source. Ryan Poles, our general manager, went on ESPN 1000 talking about how it's been a disappointing year. He says he expected the team to follow an upward trajectory, that they needed to take another step forward. And you know what? I expected that too. We all did. But what answer does he give us? He says the team hasn't even had time to step back and analyze what went wrong. Oh, please! How is it possible that you're the architect of this team, the house is on fire, and you haven't even started looking for the source of the fire? I ask you, is this the sign of effective leadership? Now let's look closer. What did we have this year? Firings everywhere. We started with the firing of Shane Waldron, our offensive coordinator. How long did he last? Not even a full season. And then comes the crown jewel, Matt Eberflus, the man who was supposedly going to be the defensive savior of this franchise, fired mid-season. Friends, this made history in the worst possible way because, for the first time in Bears history, a head coach was fired while the season was still ongoing. And the disaster didn't end there. Caleb Williams, our most talented young QB in years, had to go through a carousel of coordinators and coaches in his rookie year. I can't even. How are we going to develop our star in the middle of this madness? I'm telling you, if there was a manual on how to destroy the development of a young quarterback, the Bears wrote it this year. And what about the defense? Since Eberflus left, the defense collapsed like a house of cards. Yes, I know, many didn't like Eberflus, but we can't ignore that our defensive scheme crumbled without him. Eric Washington hasn't been able to fix anything, and that leaves a huge stain on the organization. Money spent on key players, chaotic schemes, and no results. And I ask, with these kinds of performances, do we really trust that Ryan Poles has the answers to right the ship? And do you want to know what's more at stake? Ryan Poles himself. Don't be surprised if after the last game of the season against Green Bay, Poles' name is out of the offices of Hallis Hall. It's rumored that the team is weighing its options to hire a new head coach, and here's the interesting part. If Ben Johnson, the most coveted offensive coordinator on the market, wants a new GM, that could mean Poles will be out. And if it's not Johnson, some names like Brian Flores or Anthony Weaver are being strongly mentioned. My question is, would a change in coaching be enough to fix this mess? I doubt it. I ask you this, Chicago Nation. Whose fault is it? Ryan Poles for bringing in the wrong players and coaches? The entire organization for creating a toxic and directionless environment? Or even us, the fans, for demanding more than this team could give at this moment? Do we still trust this administration to make the right decisions? Because if this next hiring cycle doesn't fix things, my friends, we could be doomed to another decade of mediocrity. So, let me ask you, What do you think is more important for the future of the Bears, a head coach who leads from the start or a general manager who builds solidly from the ground up? Leave me your opinions below because you, the fans, are the soul of this team. Now, Bears fans, I ask you directly, is this enough to calm our frustration or are we just fooling ourselves? Yes, we won against the Packers this week in Green Bay. We broke an 11-game losing streak against them and ended a disastrous 5-11 season with some satisfaction. But ask yourselves, does this victory really change anything about what has been one of the most painful and disappointing seasons we've seen in years? I tell you this, we can't settle for a patch when what we need is a complete rebuild. Let's break down what happened at the end of the season. Cairo Santos' 51-yard field goal at the last second gave us a 24-22 win at Lambeau Field, and yes, there's something special about beating our hated rival, especially in their house. We hadn't won in Green Bay since 2015. And to top it off, we broke a 20-game road losing streak. It seems almost poetic to close such a nightmare season this way, but don't be fooled, Bears family. This team has a lot of work ahead. I ask you, is this a sign of hope or just a flash in the dark? Look, Caleb Williams, our star quarterback, had an efficient performance. He finished completing 21 of 29 passes, 148 yards, and a crucial touchdown on a screen pass to DJ Moore in the fourth quarter. But wait, 148 yards? Is that the standard for the supposed future of this franchise? Caleb himself said, "We've been in these situations before, marching down the field in the last 2 minutes, but this time we came out with a win." Good for him. But this leads me to ask, is Caleb good enough right now, or are we asking too much of a rookie who has had to survive a chaotic and poorly managed season? I tell you this, if we don't give him stability and a functioning system, neither Caleb nor anyone else can succeed here. Let's talk about DJ Moore. Yes, he was the key man at the end of the game, making that crucial catch that set up the game-winning field goal. But he was also the same Moore who, with less than 2 minutes and a lead on the scoreboard, fumbled the ball to give the Packers a chance to take the lead. It's the kind of inconsistency that defines this team, 1 step forward, 2 steps back. How can we aspire to be contenders if we keep stumbling over the same fundamental mistakes? This is not just a player problem, it's a culture, mentality, preparation problem. I ask you, did you notice that our team only gained 224 total yards in the entire game? Yes, the defense forced 2 key fumbles, and we have to applaud the ingenuity of the special teams trick with that 94-yard return by Josh Blackwell, but we can't rely on isolated plays to win games. This offense still looks limited, without a real identity, and that's something unacceptable in 2025. What is clear? We need a coach who brings direction and character. Because honestly, does anyone here think we have the right tactical staff? And let's not forget about Thomas Brown, our interim coach. Is this the guy who can lead us to a brighter future? Brown achieved something we hadn't done since 2015, winning at Lambeau, and that deserves recognition. But I'll be honest with all of you, is this enough to give him a definitive shot as head coach? I have my doubts. What this team needs is a proven leader, someone who can establish a winning culture from the start. Names like Ben Johnson, Brian Flores, or even Anthony Weaver are already being talked about. Say what you will, the decision of who will be the next coach will be the most important in a decade for this franchise. Now look at reality. The season is over and we don't know what direction this team will take. We've fallen from 9th to 10th in the draft order because of this win. Some will say that doesn't matter, but I tell you this, with the number of holes this team has, even 1 spot in the draft could make a huge difference. Is beating Green Bay worth it if it complicates our draft future? Seriously, Bears Nation, I ask you, is this the first chapter of a renaissance or are we just seeing the ashes of a season that never took off? Look, I want to believe there's a core in this team. Caleb Williams, DJ Moore, Cole Kmet, some names on defense, but I also know that talent alone is not enough. It all depends on the coach we select, the direction Ryan Poles takes, if he remains in charge, and how the organization fixes this mess. So, here's my question to all of you. If you could choose one priority for this offseason, what would it be? Hiring the right head coach? Giving Caleb Williams more weapons? Or completely rebuilding this defense? Leave me your answers in the comments because this doesn't end here, Bears family. Bam! What a win! What a show! the Chicago Bears finally broke their 10-game losing streak against the Green Bay Packers at Lambeau Field. How long has it been since the Bears last won in Green Bay? Since 2015. And overall, since the 2018 season when they were crowned NFC North champions at Soldier Field. This is big, friends. Now, let's talk about DJ Moore. This man was a machine on the field. He connected with Caleb Williams to set up Cairo Santos' game-winning 51-yard field goal. He finished the game with 9 receptions for 86 yards and a touchdown. And what did he say after the game? We beat the Packers, F*********. Yes, that clear and direct, friends. This guy doesn't beat around the bush. But what does this victory really mean for the Chicago Bears? I tell you this, the pain of not having beaten the Packers in over 6 years weighs on the players, even if they weren't here from the beginning. The humiliation that the fan base and the franchise as a whole have felt from the Packers has been hard to bear. But this victory is a breath of fresh air to close the season. Now, the path for the Chicago Bears goes through this offseason. With today's win, they secured the 10th overall pick in the first round of the draft. What does this mean? I think it's a golden opportunity to strengthen the offensive line. But not only that, the biggest head coach signing in franchise history is on the horizon. Whether it's Ben Johnson, Brian Flores, or any other top candidate, the front office expects a very different product on the field when fall comes. I ask you this, Bears fans, what do you think of this victory? Is it a turning point for the team or just a momentary spark? And who do you think should be the next head coach? Leave me your opinions in the comments. Hello, Chicago Nation! Today we're going to discuss some hot topics about our beloved Bears. First, I want to know your opinion. Who do you think is to blame for the team's current situation? Is it Ryan Poles' responsibility for bringing in the wrong players and coaches? Is it the organization as a whole for creating a toxic and directionless environment? Or is it us, the fans, for demanding more than this team could give at this moment? Now, looking to the future, if you could choose one priority for this offseason, what would it be? Hiring the right head coach who can turn the team around? Giving Caleb Williams more offensive weapons to boost his game? Or focusing on a complete rebuild of the defense? Finally, I want to know what you think about the Bears' recent victory. Is this a turning point for the team or just a momentary spark? And who do you think should be the next head coach to take the Bears to the next level? Don't forget to leave your comments below. I want to hear your opinions. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any updates. Let's be part of this incredible community and keep supporting our Bears together. See you in the next video.